You might find yourself asking a pretty existential question. What if I don't want to die? You're not even sure why you're alive to begin with. You haven't found a purpose or a calling. You could travel to different countries, experience their cultures, read different books on topics you'd never enjoy, eat food that's far outside your comfort, and yet that feeling remains. Every action feels ingenuine to your existence because it only serves to distract from that daunting question. It keeps you up. It muffles the voices at a dinner table. It makes your classes end quickly and your work feel like a monotonous drag. You find that no matter how many people surround you, it feels lonely. With every action someone asks you, nothing seems as important as the one on your mind. How could everyone live their lives and not be scared, not feel as confused? Making sense of the world on your own makes the situation more frustrating. It seems as if whether you live or you die, the universe moves on without you. No significance to the process that is occurring. Without even knowing why you're alive, why you'll die, what the meaning of everything is, you still have this feeling in you that you would rather live. It's all you know. This life, although very confusing, is at least yours. We're not meant to interpret the world in order to discover some hidden meaning. We exist without asking, and we defy death by living. Albert Camus writes on the absurd situation we find ourselves in and the feeling of is life worth living. In one of his essays titled The Myth of Sisyphus, he writes, death has no more meaning than life. We should neither fall into despair nor attempt to find hope. Despair finds its purest expression in suicide, and hope is an attempt to deny the frustration of life by manifesting some metaphysical afterlife in which we find meaning in death. And so, Camus writes that the struggle itself, the action of living that we find ourselves in, is enough to fill our hearts, that we should not give up our meaningless pursuit, nor try giving in to delusional significance, but simply living every moment to the fullest. When looking at our personal lives, we recognize the level of existence we navigate on. It feels like we're closer to the smallest part of life more than anything. Just by looking up at the night sky, we can feel a greater scale that exists around us. It becomes much easier to then assign our lives as meaningless, as empty, as pointless, as if things will go on without us no matter what we do. But is this an accurate representation of the situation we find ourselves in? Or are we only disappointed in what we do and what we have, and are we only unsatisfied with how and what we've done to change that? And when looking everywhere else, we assume we are the one thing that does not function correctly. We assign value to the lack of purpose in our lives based on what we desire. For whatever reason, the assumptions we make about what we should have are a marker for the progress we also assume we should have surpassed by now. These markers, however, exist because we assume they judge accurately to the value we hold. It takes a lifetime to know a right decision, let alone a good decision. How then can we expect to know whether the situation we currently reside in is adequate to our entire life? We can only appreciate what we have, rather than attempt to challenge it by demanding it must have a reason, by expecting we must be held to a standard greater than our own comprehension. We exist. That isn't to say it's enough to satisfy the rest of our lives, but to be unsatisfied, depressed, angry, frustrated, disappointed, and scared all come from being alive. In this existence, we experience a polarity in happiness, pursuit of wonder, satisfaction, optimism, and peace. We feel great sorrow, great pain, great suffering, but we also feel great rest, great reason, and great kindness. It's complicated. That doesn't mean it's not worth it. It means give it a chance and explore every part of it. That possibly those books you read should be ones you enjoy. That the food you eat can be explored in an exciting way. That the countries you wish to visit and the cultures you wish to meet introduce you to a new way of living and a new perspective of self and community. At least in the Western Hemisphere, there seems to be a lack of collectiveness when attempting to navigate our lives, as if this culture has expressed that the only way to fulfill yourself is to do so on your own. We deal with life, and in that momentum we live and we die, and we're frustrated about it. There is a collective experience in which we are all attempting to figure out. It is a universal end we all must face and come to know. Death might not be an individual end. We live thinking, expressing, acting as independently as possible. It creates a mindset in which accepting death is an independent task, that this path of life is traversed alone. How much of your life is influenced by everything and everyone? That feeling of sharing a great joy and a great pain with someone, that you feel more human when you do. In the end, everyone is attempting to figure their way in the world, attempting to understand a process that will make death more approachable. Instead of looking for the right answer, the best answer, even a good answer, the best action to take with the worries you have is to make decisions balanced by emotion and reason for what feels good and is good. These choices aren't made for the outcome you desire. They are made in order for you to exist without hesitation, for you to appreciate the emotions you have and the rationale you can will your life with.